back, dudes. How are you guys doing? And welcome to a very special stream this afternoon. We are here for another Pantheon Rise of the Fallen Dev stream, and I am excited. Today, not only do we get to see the progress that the game has been making so far, but we have some very cool, never-before-seen artworks and animations that are going to be shown later. And as was talked about in the newsletter that went out. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. So, real quick before we begin, let's go ahead and cut the music, boop, and let's talk a little bit real fast about what we're doing today. So first of all, I want everyone to get everyone on the same page. I know we got a lot of new folks in here. First, I want to let you guys know that this is, I do a lot of sponsored broadcasts on the channel. This is not a sponsored broadcast. I am not a Pantheon Rise of the Fallen dev, and I'm not being paid to stream this. The reason I'm saying this, because it's a full disclosure, because normally when we work with devs, that is the case, but not in this case. I am a Pantheon fan. I've been playing EverQuest for 20-ish years. God, maybe not that long, but I've been playing EverQuest for a very long time. I'm actually still playing EverQuest on the progression servers. And honestly, there hasn't really been a game like it for a very, very long time. And frankly, the style of that is very unique, and I feel like a lot of that style is being brought in Pantheon. So now that that's established, I want to let you guys know a little bit about what Pantheon is. So Pantheon is an MMO. It is a subscription-based MMO. It is currently under production by Visionary Realms. Today we're going to be taking a look at the progress. We're going to be working with many of the developers, which you will be introduced to here in just a second. And, well, frankly, I'm just going to let you guys take a look at it. So feel free to ask questions in chat. There's a lot of regulars that can answer those questions as well. And really, without any further delay here, I think I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to my friend Ben here, who's going to introduce the team.
Thanks, Co, and hey, everybody. Glad to be here again. Really excited to show you some of the stuff we've got today. We're going to do a little bit of a dungeon crawl, and then at the end, we're going to show you some really cool, well, we think they're pretty cool. We think you will, too. Works in progress. But before we get started, to introduce everybody, with me is Brad McQuaid, our CCO and executive producer.
Hey there, guys. Thanks for coming. Excited to be here.
Also, before we continue, I'd just like to give a big happy birthday to Mr. Brad.
Happy birthday, Brad.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm blushing under my green armor.
We've also got Chris Perkins, our creative director and lead designer.
Hey, yeah, thanks. It's great to be back on stream with you again, Co. And it's always an exciting honor to share Pantheon with all of you. I'm also going to introduce the next member of our stream, our own community dwarf, the one and only Linda Carlson.
Oh, and if you guys could also mention your in-game character names, too.
Oh, yeah. So Chris Perkins here. My name is Joppa.
And Ben Dean, I'm playing Mikhail the Paladin.
I think a lot of us are using the names that we normally use. So, this is me, Brasse. Hello! How you doing?
And we've also got a newcomer as well. It's great to have you back, by the way. I've wanted to play these games with you for a long time, so I'm glad that we can do it on a stream as well.
I'll totally let you die in glorious fashion.
And we have a VR newcomer, Mary Conley.
Hi.
Web developer.
Welcome, Mary.
Thank you. This is a dream, right? I'm an EverQuest fan too, and now I get to be a full stack web developer with Visionary Realms, and here I am in game. This is the dream.
The dream
Full
comes true.
circle.
Yeah.
Mary is playing Myra, an enchanter, and I think that's it. Should we just turn things over to Chris to give us a bit of an intro on the game? If that's okay with you, Go?
Oh, please. Yeah. From this point forward, the show is yours. Let's do it.
Yay!
Cool. Okay, so just real quick intro. Pantheon, what we're showing today is a group-centric game, and what that means is that at its core, it's designed with players working together in mind. And that tenet is woven into all of our various game systems, and perhaps most fully in combat, because each class represents a unique and important role and brings vital skills that the group depends on, and we call that class interdependency, which is a fundamental part of Pantheon's identity. We don't believe in a one-class-fits-all kind of approach. Instead, we want to build a community-minded game where players are forging social contracts. They're forging these shared experiences with one another because they're depending on and interacting with one another and all throughout the various game systems, and especially in battle. So the first part of today's stream is seeing that in action as we work through this dungeon together. And as has been mentioned, the second part of our stream today, we're going to focus on showcasing some things that are going to give you a glimpse into the activity and progress surrounding Project Fairtail and some of our upcoming content. We're very excited about that. To go over the group makeup real quick, we've first got Ko. He's serving as our tank today, playing the warrior. Ben will be serving as our off tank, playing the paladin. And that's Mikhail. Brad will be serving as DPS because while he's playing a warrior, he's dual wielding swords that have been lit on fire, which probably do a good bit of damage. So we'll let him be hitting some stuff. Linda will be serving as our main healer, playing the cleric. And I'll be serving as a secondary healer and DPS on the shaman. And then Mary will be serving in a lighthearted, no-pressure role as our sole source of crowd control, playing the enchanter.
No pressure,
time.
no pressure.
No pressure.
None at all.
First time.
I don't think we have Linda today, actually. I think Brasse is showing up in her stead, so...
I don't know who this Linda person might be. I mean, seriously, what a lame name, right?
So, Ko, you haven't played in a while, so I guess you're perfectly qualified to main tank, so let's get going.
Yeah. By the way, can I just say this looks nothing like when I played it last? Like this, I have to admit, this is the first time where like the UI, like this is pretty. This looks good.
Can't wait
to
to
see this. Okay.
But for now, so we do have, what we're going to be doing here first is we're going to be working our way into this dude called Ash Baron. We want to kill him. We want to get his key so that we can go to a different part in the dungeon and kill a bigger baddie. So in front of us we have a few spirits, the Ulfurians, the Blasphemers, and some more in the back there. But Ko, if you want to pull, Mary, maybe you mez the one on the right, and we tank, Ko tank the one on the left, and we'll help you whittle it down.
I'm just stretching here. Give me 1 sec. Just getting warmed up. Yep.
That's my toe, you lummox.
All right, so just pull either of these guys? Yeah. Ooh, so let's see. Do I have a ranged way to pull?
T.
T. Oh, just tap T.
Right.
That works too. Let's do it. Oh, I should probably, turn the sound up.
Oh no.
So one of the things we're going to want to do here is call out kind of a main target, and once one of the targets is mezzed, it might be good, Ko, if you wanted to pull back to kind of separate.
Oh yeah. Thanks.
I'm going to yank one on Mafia there.
Yeah, I mean, Mary's got this down.
Do I? Yeah. Doing what I can.
Pretty sure I broke her man.
Never
It's
seen
all
that.
good. I got 2 on me back here.
All right. Is that one the right one? We'll figure it out at the end. There's 2 stacks.
So today we're role playing as first time players, chat. This is all a big act to let you guys know what it looks like. Just for you guys.
It's just so that, we don't make you feel bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, if I was really good at mezzing, it might be too intimidating for people to come in later and try to step onto my turf as a champion.
Exactly right.
So you'll see that Ko's dropping some banners as well. You want to listen what those are?
Oh, I'd be happy to, but I was assuming you were talking to someone else.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, so if you've read anything about the warrior class, then you're familiar with the banner system. If you haven't, the warrior represents kind of a battlefield commander. I mean, they certainly are the strongest, physically strongest of the physical-based classes when it comes to combat. They're using melee weapons and stuff, but they also have that battlefield commander aspect to them. And so these banners are kind of like auras. The warrior will plant them in the ground, and almost all the banners have a positive effect on the players within the radius, and also a negative effect on the enemy targets within a radius surrounding the banner. So it's very early still in getting some of that functionality in, but it is in, and it's working pretty well. So this banner here, the red one, I believe, is the Challenger's banner, which is going to give the warrior a really nice boost to their AE threat generation.
Cool. Okay, so we've got 2 more to pull here. Let's mez the cultist and take on blaspheme.
Okay, let me make sure I have it in my line of sight. Can't possibly mess it up. All right,
I got
it.
an ad too. Got an ad.
Okay.
So I'm gonna park out here if you want to mez the cultist and the soldier.
Okay, pull it back a bit.
Sure.
Let's see.
You're on the soldier?
Oh no.
I am on the blaspheme.
Oh, you're on the blaspheme. Okay, let's just do that.
All right.
I'm just gonna say, really, just one ad. You're doing it wrong.
I can increase that if you'd like. Mostly not on purpose.
I'll just focus on this
we got
guy.
another cultist in here. Okay.
I'm playing a warrior.
For
I'm the main-
sure.
yeah.
Okay. And okay, perfect. I finally selected the soldier. All right, he's Mez. Pull back.
And I'm
Okay,
bringing your
perfect.
Because that's what I do.
We'll grab that cultist next.
Okay. Woohoo. Cool. Thank you.
I like this charge move. The kind of like warp to your enemy. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, there's actually a great animation for that. It's not going to be an instant teleport kind of thing. Right now, that's kind of the prototype functionality to make sure that you get from point A to point B, but it's going to have a really dynamic look and feel to it.
Great. So with the banner, I'm noticing I activate it, and then it lasts for a set amount of time, and then like it kind of unsummons itself. Am I seeing that right? Okay, great. So you basically want to cast it like each fight kind of thing.
Yep.
Try to get the most out of it you can, for the fight.
And as you increase in level and kind of in your general abilities as a warrior, you will be able to have multiple banners up at once, up to a total of 4. So that's something to look forward to as a warrior when you've grown to the point where you can actually be utilizing up to 4 of those at the same time.
Cool. Yeah, I'm seeing some stuff in chat, and I wanted to let you guys know something. The fact that enemies are so slow to kill is by choice. That's the whole point of these types of games. A lot of times these days in MMOs, there's just no challenge. Like, enemies fall over, you put a group together, unless you're doing a group dungeon, then, you can just steamroll everything. The point of this game is that you have to take it slower. If you get ads, those ads are a serious threat. It's much more methodical. It takes longer. The whole game is basically drawn out. It's not just, like fight to fight, theme park, let's go to between attractions. This is a dungeon crawl, not a dungeon sprint. So yeah.
Yeah,
if you're
and
wondering why it looks
also
slow, that's by design.
It's also important to note along those lines that we are in pre-alpha as well. We do have some stuff in the works that's going to make it more visually interesting. So you'll see a lot more, spell effects and cooler animations. Animations is a big one that we're working on right now, and we'll show some of that at the end, near the end of the stream.
Cool. Where to now, sir? Just grab these.
So we eventually want to go into the door on the right, but we probably should clear those ones on the left first.
Okay.
Because I'm sure they're going to add.
Got a soldier coming in.
Okay, yeah, good eye. Would have just left that. We would have had.
Just to add to that earlier comment too, if you look at the class makeup, we don't actually have a dedicated DPS class. I'm doing a lot of DPS right now as the shaman. That's kind of what I'm focused on. But the way that the group came together, we just ended up not having a lot of like a high DPS group. So this is an example of a more defensive and support heavy group making their way through an area.
Okay. Yeah, Mira, if you want to pick one of these to mez, I'll pull the other.
Yeah, let me get the one on the right.
Got
Alrighty.
Here we go.
Actually, we should pull it back. Okay. And mezzing. Any day now. There it is.
Tom went off here.
There we go. Oh, I really, now that I know what to look for, I really like that you can see the debuffs on things that aren't selected. So you can, I can easily tell instantly if that mob is mezzed or not. That's nice. That's real nice.
Yeah, and that's part of, we want you to be able to keep your focus on what's actually happening in front of you and not be so focused on the UI details. So that's one way to keep kind of the status effects right at your eye level.
I like it. I don't need to worry about these little cave spiders, do I?
Not
flavor.
per se. If you have negligent group members, people AEing, you might be a bit upgrade. Things could happen.
Damn, Mira, is that you? What did you,
Yeah.
what did you just do to that thing?
I am siphoning the mana.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, this old spell.
Hold on, that old thing.
Man, I need to get in the habit of I'm forgetting to turn on my auto attack a lot of times.
Yeah.
I'm so used to hearing the combat music that means that I'm auto attacking. So
Sorry,
I hear the
Cole,
music and I'm like, I'm good.
we're actually going left here.
Oh, left here.
So
Okay.
across sort of looks, it's not really a bridge.
All right.
Don't
now,
go right. Don't go right.
I'll get the cultist.
Okay, now there's a good chance we also have 2 blasphemes by this door on the left, and they might come as well.
You're right.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
let's grab
try
Did
to
we just
pull.
go left, maybe?
I could just pull the blasphemes.
Yep. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I'll get the. I'll again mez the guy on the right.
Why don't we
Okay.
Why don't we lead with a mez? Why don't we lead with a mez on
Sure.
maybe the cultist or
Okay,
something?
sure. Let's see how I botched the aggro.
Oh, cool. They didn't.
Nailed it.
They
I'm
didn't
just
come in.
calling
Oh, it's
it.
perfect. Perfect. That was
Nice.
perfect. It's almost like you've done this before.
Hey. I haven't.
Hey, Chris, are they blasphemers and the last letters is being cut off?
Oh no, I think
No, they're
blaspheme is yeah.
Okay.
Blasphemer is the named version.
Oh, okay.
Just a quick note, too. You mentioned about having to turn auto attack on manually. That's actually being addressed. It's been in our last few builds with the
Awesome.
current ones that we're working on. Okay, so right now, this is good for a caster. Because casters don't want auto attack turning on every time they cast a spell. So for melees.
Yeah, it gives you time to focus on the more tactical what abilities you're using. You don't want it just to be sitting there spamming swing sword in a game like this.
Want to grab the cultist?
Yeah. Oops. That would have. Busy looking at your banners. I'm all impressed.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I'm noticing is my banner is actually pulling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're mad.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
They don't like red.
Okay.
I need to make sure I'm keeping my battle points up, because that's one other thing about this class. I don't know if we talked about this yet. Some of the skills generate battle points, and then some of them use battle points. So I need to make sure I'm keeping that pool balanced.
Yep.
The same is true for the cleric, actually. I've got a small heal set up that generates these celestial points, and then I've got some really large heals that require celestial points in order to activate.
Oh, so there's times when a cleric won't be able to immediately large heal, like they'll have to kind of build up to it?
There is a large heal available, but it costs a lot of mana. So it's far more mana efficient for me to use teeny heals and stack up me celestial points so that I have more choices that use less mana.
That is cool. That is
It's
very
super cool.
Yeah.
I was thrilled to learn that one yesterday.
Yeah, that is super cool.
We're
right.
actually going over here.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just going all the wrong way.
Alright.
My lord.
Go the wrong
There's only one way left that you haven't gone yet, so that's where we're going.
Okay. I will grab the cultist. You know what, Mira, something I do in my EQ groups. You want to just always mez the right one?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, perfect.
I can do that. I
Oh.
can do that.
Now, if I were to use my AoE banner, would I aggro these Celis creepers on the left?
I think the best way to find out is just give it a try.
Bada boom.
wow.
Boom! Ah!
Oh my. No.
Boners! Okay, well, that answers that. All right, good to know. Ouch, these things hurt a little.
Yeah.
So those creepers, we call those ambient mobs because, and what all that means is they have very, very low health, but very, very high damage.
Oh, the
And so
little glass
they're-
cannons.
They're little glass cannons, exactly.
Fun. Okay. So whenever you get ambient mobs, that is the priority.
Yep. You want to clear those out as fast as possible.
Incoming?
Hey, Chris, I don't know if you want to mention, but we've touched on it, how the different classes have different resources. and how it's handling that.
Yeah, it's one of the unique
I love
aspects.
the classes,
Yeah, the different classes. We've already heard the warrior with the battle points and the cleric with the celestial power. But it gets even more robust than that. For example, like the warrior, they have a secondary resource element called resilience, which you'll be seeing more of in the coming months. But that is an even more unique aspect of the warrior, where resilience is that instead of like a resource that generates and then is spent, it's a resource that starts at maximum and decreases as the warrior, as certain things happen to the warrior in combat. And the way you manage that resource is actually by trying to keep it as high as possible instead of spending it. And that resilience sits as like a kind of a final layer of mitigation on top of innate defense, armor class from buffs and items. Like once every form of defense and mitigation is factored in, resilience sits on top of that as kind of that final, really differentiating factor for the warrior to give them that unparalleled physical mitigation.
If we can get a mez on the right one.
I'm trying.
You sound distraught.
There we go.
I sorry.
There's
don't
only
worry.
thousands of people watching you, Mira.
Yeah,
No pressure. There's 9,700 people watching you. No pressure.
You know what? We all gotta start somewhere, guys.
Makes sense. This is absolutely the place to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to reemphasize, this is the Combat 1.0. Basically, this is kind of the first iteration, basic idea of the direction that we're headed with Pantheon. But there's lots more to come in terms of combat strategies. Chris can probably tell you to go on for days if that's on the abilities.
Oh, I can't wait until I go on for days. Yeah.
I'm gonna be perfectly blunt with you guys as an EQ fan. I hope you don't change too much because, like, from someone who's playing it, it feels good. The pacing feels better. Like, this is not a normal RPG pacing, which is exactly what I think many of us are looking for. So yeah, like, this is great so far.
We want to keep that spirit.
Yeah.
We absolutely believe that we can retain that spirit and make things a bit more interesting as well.
Do you guys have hotkey changing in by any chance?
Yeah. It should be. If you go to the cogwheel at the top and hit the input tab, you should be able to switch those up.
I am going to change auto attack to Q because I keep hitting that without even thinking about it.
There you go.
That's the first thing I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so fair warning, inside there's probably one pather that we can probably take, but there's the boss, the mini boss, named, and one or two ads depending on what we kill here.
Is there a way to unbind a key? Probably not. I'd be surprised if there was. Okay, well, for next time. Oh, that should be fine. I can work with that. All right, let's go. Who puts a torch in the middle of a doorway?
That's a good question.
You burn yourself. Oh, apparently people in chat are saying me, so they're the ones who did it. All right, cool. Well, there you go.
Oh, wow. Well, that's great. I wonder how many other questions you could ask get answers to like that.
Pretty much everything. I like that dragon effect, whatever that is. That looks pretty cool.
So if we do get the boss, if we happen to get him, we're going to want to focus all of the DPS straight on him. That means Mira's going to want to do as much mezzing as possible. If she can't get those two things mezzed, or the ads mezzed, then myself...
Oh, look at that. A beautiful pull. That was great.
Dude, don't get too confident.
Overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Sorry.
Or, as we learned yesterday, a pretty speedy killer.
It's true.
To answer some quick questions in chat, this is PC only, I believe, so far, Ben?
So far, yeah.
Yeah. And no release date yet.
No.
Yes, not yet. But more progress every day. And as you can see, it's clearly coming together. All right, so we have a lot. Let's see, we've got... Oh, this is the boss.
Yeah, it's a named mini.
Oh, Lord.
A lieutenant.
Okay. So this room is full of hate.
Yes.
I'm
I
gonna
would recommend pulling it out.
Okay.
So if everybody wants to come out here and just chill by the torch here.
From the looks of it, there's 2 blasphemes that are gonna come with this guy.
So Mira's going to try and mez the blasphemes. If she can't get them locked down, Aradune and I will OT them. But
Well, let's actually, Mira, if you want to come up here and actually get one targeted,
Okay, let me do
so that
That's
you
a good
can
idea.
kind of almost pre-warm your mez.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm gonna pull him to the bottom of the stairs.
This
out
guy
here,
right
so you
here?
guys
Okay,
have
got
some
it.
room.
I have him targeted.
Sweet.
Are you ready?
Locked in. Yep.
Let's do it.
Here we go. I immediately regret this. Okay. Okay, that was
Crunching of
something.
bones.
All right.
Got him. Now pull back a bit, and I'll grab the other one.
Let's pour the DPS on Ash Baron. We got to burn him as quick as we can.
Oh, I guess that's not working right now. So if I'm right in front of this guy, I can still hit my charge ability to gain the battle point and then just immediately expend it, right? Oh wait, maybe that's not working.
There's-
Oh, I'm
there's
too
gonna
close.
be
It
a-
says too close. Never mind.
Yeah, there's a range distance on it, so.
Yeah, never mind.
Does his banner break aggro? No. Okay. Just me.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, very nice. This is great.
What's that assist key that you have set up, Mira? That's awesome. Like, subscribe, follow, CohhCarnage into battle.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Ah! This is probably the best assist key.
That's amazing. Okay, cool. So what did we get off him? Did we get the key? Oh, we got the key, but there's something else if you want to grab him, Co.
Oh, sure.
It's not the breastplate, but it's something cool.
I see a Fade Steel key on this. I just took that.
Oh, this blaspheme.
Oh, the Blaspheme. Ooh. Ancient Plate Mail Handguards. Warrior, Cleric, Paladin, hands. 19 AC. Let's take a look at our
Are
gloves.
they an upgrade?
Oh, yeah. That's
Nice.
an upgrade. Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
So this is your first time in this area, right? In this part of the dungeon?
In this part, we did a very brief tour before, but I don't even think we did any combat when we did it.
Let's head in here. I just want you to head in there and see what you find.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not trying to not overhyping anything, but
You're trying to get him killed, Chris. We know you're
Oh, there's
It's
another
a
Blaspheme
big-
up.
The big birthday cake for Aradune.
Oh, that's a giant thing. There's definitely a Blaspheme in here.
Yeah.
let's take it out real quick.
Okay. I'll bring him out.
We can
Oh,
probably
we're
just
right
fight.
behind you. We're just right
Oh, great. That works too.
Yeah, we're all brave now that the big boss is dead.
Yeah.
For those
right.
asking,
They're all going, no problem.
real quick, for those asking about the camera, I am actually doing the first person, third person. You just roll your mouse up, and that is full first person view. And then if you roll your mouse out, then it's third person. So yeah, that's me doing that. That's not like combat doing that. I kind of like doing combat in first person because I can see the battlefield a little more. But then when I'm pulling, I go out, and that way I can see more things around me, and it helps me pull.
We call that situational awareness.
Oh, that's a fun term for it. Oh, what is this area? Whoa. The music just changed. What am I looking at?
Chris likes to sneak little new areas in and old areas that we've never seen.
That's pretty cool.
Question is, how do you get there?
That is a good
Just
question.
thinking about
I
that.
can fit. I'll
This
go
is
fit.
this is kind of a climactic moment in one of the perception storylines. I'm not going to say really anything about it or spoil anything about it, but it's just is an example of, you know, embedded into the different adventuring areas, even just an offshoot of like a major encounter area in this dungeon. You have these little moments that you can discover.
Dude, this music is beautiful. Like that is some feels music right there.
That's one of yours, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
That's nice, man. Well done.
Let's just stay here forever.
I know, right? Can we just like set up camp? That'd be fun.
And then wraiths just pour out of the walls, and
I can't get over how much better this looks from the first time I looked at this. Like, this is ridiculous, man. This is great. All the lighting effects look completely different.
Yeah, we our awesome shader programmer Bruno rewrote a lot of the lighting, and it just changed the entire world.
Yeah.
A whole new world.
Sing it.
If you guys are ready,
cool.
I don't want to rush you. If you're
yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good.
If you're ready, I'll bring you up to the next part here.
He was looking for more loot. That's all.
Now, typically, we would have to fight our way all the way back up to near the beginning of the dungeon, but just in terms of time saver, I did GM summon you, so we'll just go.
Little cheating.
Little cheating.
Just a little bit.
Really digging the auto sort options in the spell journal.
Mm-hmm.
This is nice, yeah.
Hey, there's another group over there. All right.
Oh.
We're actually coming. If you turn around, we're going to be coming down here. We're going to head to. We picked up that key, so we're going to be using it now to get to the next boss.
Are we going
to worry? Oh, look at these rat guys. Do we need to worry about them?
Train the other group is what we should do, but
we're high level enough that we shouldn't have to worry about them.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. Once you out-level an enemy by enough levels, then they'll get smart enough to leave you alone.
They're scared.
They should be.
Yeah.
So the key that you picked up, I should have shown that, but the key that you picked up actually unlocks this door, so we wouldn't
cool.
have been
Okay.
able to get
Is it the kind of thing where if you have a key in your inventory, it just works?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it goes. It just made a little clicky sound. Great. Okay.
So let's move up here, and some of our followers will be familiar with this fight. They've seen it before, but what we haven't done before is gone into detail about what this is. So in front of us, we see Gnashura. As you see, we were locked behind a door. We couldn't get to it without getting that key. Once you get that key, then you can access Gnashura. But then the question comes up, well, how do we, since we don't have instancing in the game, how are we going to lock encounters? So one of the ways that we're doing this, and this is just one example, is that once we enter into that room, he's going to start spouting off his script, and then the door is going to close behind us. Right in front of us, you see that stone gateway. That's just going to slam down shut, and then our group is literally going to be locked in that counter. Nobody's going to be able to get into there. Nobody's going to be able to interfere.
Ben, do you want me to run ahead?
No. But conversely as well,
If you
nobody's
do,
going to be
just
able
don't
to
tell
come
us
and save
about
us.
Hey, you know what, Brad? It's your birthday. You do whatever you want, buddy.
That's right.
Yeah, if you want to go now, Brad, and then once we're done explaining things, we'll come res you.
Oh, that sounds great.
Hey, here, I have a question about that then. So, say your cleric is mildly distracted because she may be refilling her ale or something. If that door slams shut and I'm on this side of it, am I stuck outside?
You are.
Oh, my lord. Okay, so I have to pay attention. Got it.
You do, yeah. Yeah, so that's just one of the things we, like I said, being an uninstanced game, we know that there are going to be challenges, so we're thinking of different ways to sort of help with that.
That's
Chris,
cool.
do you want to go walk through this fight and go through the strategy so we can see what's going on and all of the mechanics that we have employed
And have
here?
a possibility of winning.
And have a chance of winning. Yeah.
Yeah, so we decided to just kind of go ahead and spoil the mechanics of the fight just to share with everyone. We will be coming back and revisiting and kind of sprucing him up and tweaking some things around so that it's not, it'll be a lot different come launch day. But for now, the way we have this working is you engage Gnashura. It's a bit of a scripted fight. He's got some things to say first. Before the fight begins, the door slams, then you engage. When you get him to about 80% health, he's going to say writhe or shout writhe, and he's going to throw this really nasty blue ring of death on the ground, which is extremely damaging. Everyone needs to evacuate that area, except obviously for the tank, who needs to be able to eat that damage, have the kind of healing support, to stay with it.
So I actually stay in the blue circle.
You want to stay in the blue circle so that none of the rest of us have to. Yeah.
Okay.
After that, he will break combat. He'll go invincible because he has more things he wants to say. Once he talks to us a little bit more, he'll re-engage combat. We'll fight him again and take him down to about 50% health. where he will shout regret, and the room will fill with this kind of bluish smoke. That's actually Gnashura creating an atmosphere. It's a spell reflection atmosphere. And so in that phase, it's not going to affect us too much because we don't really have any whole lot of nuking going on in this group. But that would be where the nukers would want to hold back. Would be primarily on the physical DPS to burn during that. And then once that ends, that effect, he'll break combat again. He'll have one final thing to say. And each of these phases, he's also summoning some ads that will come out of those little smoky portals, like the one you see up in front of you. Yeah. And the good news is they're pretty well undertuned, those ads right now. They're meant to be kind of like that ambient mob we talked about earlier, but they're not hitting super hard at the moment. So, but then the final phase, after 50%, he will come back. As we take him down to 0 health, he will do Writhe and Regret one more time each. And that's also not mentioning a lot of his other abilities he's using just during the course of combat that are pretty nasty as well. So should be a fun fight.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Now, is this the kind of encounter we can plan on seeing, like something like this in each dungeon kind of thing?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is going to be kind of what you should think of as the standard for your, main boss, whether you have 1 or 2 or even 3 of those, depending on the size of the dungeon. Absolutely want the encounters to be this involved, but not so much so that like one of the encounters we're going to tease out a little bit at the end. One of the encounter we're working on right now is more of a late game encounter, which obviously will just be absolutely mind-blowing in terms of the all the different things going on and all of the ways that you'll be needing to use your class abilities and use the environment and regard the environment. And I just can't wait until we can get into that more.
Sounds fun, man.
Yep.
Okay, so does everybody know what they're doing?
Yeah, totally.
I'm like 20% there. Let's do it.
All right, so let's head in and let him start his script. Our buffs are good. Yeah, looks good.
We all set? All right, let's do it.
All right.
I'm going right in. Oh, look at this dude.
So he's gonna spew some heavy language at us.
Evil dude monologuing.
Is he going to explain his evil plan?
When he comes to the middle, he's gonna go into attack mode. So get ready to get that aggro, Co.
I'm ready.
Quite
Got
the
ads
daddy
coming in,
cat.
so I'm just gonna take them here. They've got very few hit points, so I'm not too worried about mezzing.
I will do my best to grab them, but if you want to give me a yell when they're up, I'll pop an AoE. Wow, this guy's doing a lot of damage.
I said I was gonna take care of this guy quickly.
Less talking, more
DPS
stabbing.
That's true.
All right, he's getting
remember
close
at
to his
8
first phase here.
Back up, there we go, get out of there.
Okay, so I'm going to stay in here. I'm staying in.
Got it.
Nice. Good.
Good job. Heals, guys.
That was painful.
Oh, I think
So
we're
we're up in the
mental.
second
Nice.
phase, so we're gonna see some more ads. Brad, you and I can take care of the ads as they come out.
Sure.
Here they go. I got
do it.
Here.
Pop an AoE taunts. I'm going to spin him around. Quick question. Position-based attacks. Is this the kind of thing where if Eridune were fighting in front of Gnashura, would he be like more prone to riposts or anything like that? Like, is there any benefit for normal attacks positionally? Like, you
Yes.
always want to be... Okay, great.
Yep.
So in that case, I'll try to keep him spin so his back is facing the party.
Yep.
DPS back on Gnashura. Remember, at 50%, he's going to go into his next phase. That next phase is a spell reflect. So if we had cast or DPS, which we don't right now, we would say, don't cast bad spells. They will hurt you.
Is that what you would say?
I would say that.
Here we go.
Oh, I like that voice. Whoa! There we go. So what's this blue fog doing right now to us?
This is spell reflect. He's basically turned the room into an atmosphere, a spell reflection atmosphere.
So cool.
So if a wizard nukes him, he's going to fry himself, pretty much.
He's going to nuke himself in the face, yeah.
Okay, so now he's going to go into the third phase. He's going to do both the writhe and the regret. Not at once, but... Okay, we got the ads, taking care of what we can. Brad, could you use your hand? Use a hand here.
It's his birthday.
We're all slow too. Get around here.
Damn, I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm trying to pull him off you, but they got a lot of love for you right now.
It's all that healing.
You can sort of see too how this is an example, maybe not so much from the warrior's perspective, but from the rest of the group, it requires a lot of motion, a lot of moving around, grabbing different targets as a team.
Right, incoming shortly.
By the way, the hotkeys above the banner things, are those like F1 keys by any chance, or Alt 1 or anything like that? I'm a little hesitant to start testing that stuff.
I'd get out of the circle.
Okay. I'm staying in the circle.
I'm just not sure what they are as defaults.
I think you can set them.
Oh, you can set them. Oh, even better. Okay, great. And I don't have enough battle points for my AoE.
Oh.
Back to you.
That slow is nasty.
That's
Man.
brutal. Born on the Pally DPS.
Yeah.
This guy killed.
My little nuke does mana splash to anyone near me, so I'm...
Spell reflect up.
Oh.
Yeah, quick reminder for chat for anyone tuning in. The speed of this game, although it's still being tweaked, is slow by design. So just keep that in mind. And many of us, including myself, very much prefer this slower based combat. Like this is, yeah.
Well, you're really going to appreciate it too, and in situations like this, where you're, especially if you don't know the fight, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to kind of like focus on your rotation and focus on kind of each individual phase and figuring out what to do. By the way, awesome.
But yeah, I think the reality is that if it was more actiony, you wouldn't have the time to make the tactical decisions you're going to be needing to make, which abilities to use, what are your party members doing. It's just much more involved and much more tactical, and so that's why you've got that time to make those decisions.
Well, I'm also going to say, just like when we fought this yesterday in practice, that you didn't hear me saying a lot during the fight because I'm going, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh my god, am I going to have enough mana? Oh my god,
It's definitely intense when you're playing it, when you're watching it. But Ben was talking about that. We're going to make it over time more exciting to watch. But when you're playing it, you better be paying attention, and it definitely doesn't seem slow in any way.
For sure. Hey, weird that guy didn't have any loot on him.
Oh.
oh yeah, where's the loot?
I didn't. I think it bugged out or something. I mean, alpha.
All right, let's run back out here, guys. Just so that we're not in there if he respawns again.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, yeah, there is a very nice sword here. It's like got more stats and double the DPS of my last one. This thing is beautiful.
Nice.
Very nice.
Okay, so you got a chance to play the Warrior Code. What'd you think?
This is cool. Like it feels like active tanking. I really like balancing the pools. I like the banner system. I think that's pretty cool. It's also going to let you kind of balance the difference between like being a DPS warrior and like a tank warrior, which is kind of awesome. So even if I was doing like low level farming or camping, it's not necessarily just all threat and defense. Like I can kind of tailor it a little bit more. I also really like the new hotbar timers that show you exactly how long the ability cooldowns are. That's super handy. I was like looking at that the whole time. Like the charge abilities. This is cool. This is a fun tank. I'm digging it.
Well, that's good to hear. So as we mentioned, we have been working on animations as well. We've done a few streams with you and elsewhere as well, and people have been mentioning the placeholder animations. So what we'd like to do today is show you some of those, some of the warrior animations, at least the works in progress, that are being implemented as we speak into the game. I think you have a video there, Ko, yeah?
I do. Which one would you like to look at first?
Let's do the warrior animations.
They are up and running.
Nice. So, I guess we can't really do this in real time because of the delay on Twitch, but Chris, did you want to sort of go over some of those abilities, the warrior abilities, and what some of the animations that we're seeing in the stream, or in the video, rather?
Absolutely, yeah. So, like Ben said, we've got a lot of feedback on, the different animations that currently exist, and it only goes so far, saying these are placeholder animations. They will be being replaced down the line. So it's an exciting opportunity to be able to share, again, some of the work in progress animations from Ross Armstrong. Our lead animator has been working really hard on the different class abilities. You'll notice in the video on the top left of the video that's playing, you'll see the name of the ability and that it corresponds to. And the intent there is to say, like, we're going for not only really dynamic, we want combat to feel dynamic, to look dynamic, and so we want the animations to convey that, but also kind of the special touch that the different abilities for the different classes are going to get. So you're going to see in the coming months, as more and more of these class animations are finished, you're going to see the warrior really start to come into its own, because it's got all of these unique animations that represent their unique iconic abilities. And then the rogue will have their own animations to convey. There will be some kind of reuse here and there of different animations between the classes, but the majority of animations are going to have that real unique look and feel to them, which is going to make the class identity and the differentiation of the classes that much stronger. So really super excited about it. Ross Armstrong, incredible animator, extremely intuitive, and just been a wonderful addition to the team.
Yeah, like I'm baffled. Like, there's so many abilities that have their own entire unique animation just for that ability.
Yep. That's a key. I mean, there's too much riding on your connection to your class, and when you feel like the abilities that you're using have that kind of really bespoke, special way of looking about them, it makes the feeling of playing that class, because this is such a social game, that sense of being a warrior, being a rogue, being a monk, and having those animations that really set you apart, and where people can tell, like, oh, he just did that move, or he just did that thing. Like, I'm really excited about the ability that we have to really make the animations specific and special like that for the different classes.
Oh yes, just to be perfectly clear for chat, these are work in progress animations. These are not final. The whole project is pre-alpha, is the official state that you guys are calling it right now? Yeah, pre-alpha. So everything you see here, in some degree, will be touched and or improved before release. Yeah.
Yep.
I also, whoever came up with that taunt animation, that's great.
the slitting the throat. Yeah, that's
I like that a lot.
So the combat animations, the ability animations, is not the only thing that we're working on. We also have mentioned in the past very briefly about climbing systems. So if we want to switch over to the climbing animations, we can give a little bit of a sneak peek as to what we're working on there.
It's up right now.
So these again come from Ross. We have a lot of areas in the game where you're going to be able to climb. We have a whole system designed around climbing and having it play an important role. Just like everything else, how the environment plays a role in the game. Chris, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been excited about this. I mean, it's been a long time, really around the first time we showed Amber Fate, one of the dungeons in the game. And it was at that point that we talked about the concept of vertical progression within areas. We're used to going through, kind of like we've done here in this dungeon. We've run, well, we haven't really done a lot of running around it. But we're used to that kind of horizontal progression, running through hallways, maybe ramps up and down a little bit or whatever. But the idea of like a more pure vertical progression, where you're actually moving through an area by going way up or way down, has always really intrigued us, and the climbing system has been something we've just been super excited about. And so you're seeing here, again, not even the whole suite, but just some of the core animations that make up the climbing system. And from these alone, you can tell that obviously we've got the vertical climbing up and down. We've also got ledge grabbing and horizontal movement along a ledge. We've got diagonal movement on sheer surface. You can climb, up and left or right, or down and left and right. But then even beyond that, the climbing system will include some more active elements, like being able to lunge on a sheer surface, to a higher point and grab on, and being able to improve your climbing speed and other things based on how good your climbing skill is. So we're really excited about that. It just provides such an amazing variety of and just potential for the kind of encounters and environments we can design. But as you'll see in the coming months as well, it's not only an exploration tool. Climbing is going to allow you to reach a lot of really cool places and find a lot of secret places and whatnot, but it's also going to be something that's incorporated into many of our encounters as well. And you'll see more of that. The encounter we're working on right now actually has climbing as a pretty key element in how you actually complete that encounter and deal with some of the different events going on within the encounter. So again, I know this is tease a little bit, but it's enough to say like it's something we're working hard on. It's something we take very seriously and can't wait till we can show more.
I think I speak for most Pantheon fans when I say we will take a tease. We will take anything, whatever you want to give.
Cool.
We're fine with it.
Yeah, it's just as hard to not say more. I mean, it's just really exciting stuff. So I can't wait.
I can imagine.
So Chris mentioned a little bit about the encounter that we're working on. Not going to spill too many beans about that today, but how climbing plays a role in it. But we also spoke about how the environment plays a role. During the Gnashura fight, we saw an example of one of the atmospheres and how climates can play a role. And we have another short video on some of the VFX for one of the climates that we're working on, which is a storm climate. If you want to bring up the lightning.
It is up.
Awesome. Yeah, this one is so exciting to me because, again, one of the big kind of themes as we've been working on Project Fairtail is getting Pantheon to a point where it's more about showing and not telling. And we've talked a lot about the climate system and, the different types of environments, the way the role weather will play. But this is the first time we're able to show, like when we say there's going to be a storm, there's a weather system with a real storm going on. That means that the aspects of that storm, everything from the wind, the rain, and the lightning is going to actually be part of the play experience. And so this lightning bolt that we're showing here will actually be striking, and it will be pretty much an instant kill if you're struck directly by this bolt of lightning. You'll notice there's a little bit of a visual cue, about a 3-second telegraph happening on the ground before the strike. Gives you enough time to get out of the way, or to get as far out of the way as you can. There'll be some splash damage based on how far you are from that strike point, but you can imagine being in that experience of a massive real storm going on, where you're not just dealing with whatever enemies are in front of you, but you're actually literally having to take the environment into account, and it's merciless. So then again, this is a much higher level encounter where we're able to be a lot more free with the difficulty and the complexity of the different elements going on at once. But I know it's a single lightning bolt, but man, it represents a lot, and so really excited to share that with you guys.
So, quick rumor I just heard. Is it true that lightning tends to strike more towards people who have been AFK for a few minutes?
That's something that we'll have to wait and prove until we get there. I've heard green armor actually also is a pretty strong attractor.
I've heard it's very conductive. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh my God, that's amazing.
So tying these all together, the environment and the climates, just another quick example from one of the encounters that we're showing. If you want to pull up the storm glass, these are a little bit of a render on environmental models that we're using.
Yeah, there's a lot of environmental art obviously going into the creation of new parts of the game. this is one piece, and it's kind of a wild looking piece, and maybe even a strange choice as far as all the things that we could have shown. But what I love about this is the way that it ties into the lightning bolt that we just saw. And so there are going to be these kind of pools, if you will, in this environment that are filled with this kind of reddish, almost like sap-like liquid. And what happens is this storm, which I'm not going to say any more about the storm or what it is or why it is, but these bolts of lightning, when they actually make contact with these pools, it causes this violent splash that almost instantly then flash freezes the liquid. And so you get these beautiful looking, crazy, wild, almost sculptures of this flash frozen resin in the environments where this lightning is striking. And as an Easter egg, once all of that, maybe not as an Easter egg, but just something to be aware of if you remember this, that when this environment is eventually released and people see it, you might want to go take a look in those pools and see what else could have been frozen in it.
So they are environmental props, but in the encounter that we're working on, it does serve a practical purpose as well, which you'll have to wait and see what that's all about. So awesome. I think we're kind of closing in on our time here, Ko, but I think there's probably one more image that you have that we can share.
I do, and here it is. I haven't even looked at this one yet. What is this? Oh, it's okay. It's opening up strangely. Hold on. Let's pop it over here. Oh my, what am I looking at? What is this?
So, Ko, thanks so much for having us today. We had a blast. Hopefully your viewers did as well. If you do want to learn more about Pantheon, you can reach us at pantheonmmo.com. Lots of information about the game on there. You can sign up for a newsletter. We do have 2 new pledge packages that are opened up today. Actually, they're the same pledge packages, but they're available. We reopened the opportunity for monthly installments on a couple of our pledge packages. The game is largely crowdfunded. All that you're seeing here is largely done by the pledges that our community has helped out with, so we're very grateful to that. And you can get as involved as you like, but all of the information there is at pantheonmmo.com. Ko, thanks again for having us, man.
Hey, for sure, man. Hey, did you want to talk about this screenshot at all, or we
There'll
just
be more in the future.
Oh my God. Okay, because this looks awesome. All right, well, that's quite a tease. Well, hey, it has been our absolute pleasure once again hosting you guys. Before we go, a big happy birthday to Brad again.
Happy birthday, Brad.
Happy birthday,
awesome.
Erdun.
And a big thanks to everyone for being here. So that is awesome. So, Ben, is there anything else we wanted to do or go over or anything besides like the website, pantheonmmo.com and all that good stuff?
I think that's it, man. Again, just really appreciate you having us on here. And if you want more information, like Ko said, pantheonmmo.com.
Hell yeah. Well, guys, thank you very much for everything. I am already anxiously anticipating our hopeful next stream.
Thank
you. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
See you, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, man, guys, that was fun. That was cool. That was really, really cool. Oh, we crashed their website? Uh-oh. Oh, you guys just hug a death their website. Oh, Lord. PantheonMMO.com. There you go. Well, guys, every time we play this game, it gets sizably better. Like, I have to admit, the first, I'll never forget our first streams doing this. We were walking through, like, UI wasn't done. We were looking at, like, big white squares for buildings. And you could kind of see where the game was going, but we clearly weren't there. And now here we are months and months and months later. And that dungeon I just walked through, like, those are graphics that I would give, like, those are graphics I would play. That UI that I just used, that UI felt good. The abilities all worked. Like, the game is a game. Like, this is great. This is really going well. Like, it's happening. This is awesome. So anyway, I really want to thank you guys for being here for this stuff. These dev streams are kind of off the beaten path for me. So I just want to thank you all for being here. I hope you guys enjoy them. And yeah, like, again, just awesome. Anyway, dudes, I am going to get out of here for now. Thank you again for being here.